All right, everybody, welcome. This is a business school podcast and video. You may be hearing this in podcast form, or you may be watching this video online from our website. And either way, I just want to say welcome. The point of this podcast is to help young entrepreneurs start to get their head around what business is, how to start business. It's business school. It's business school. It's business school for young people. Can I give you a little background about why we're doing this?
Let's go. What is
it?
Yeah.
I have always, and you're part of the reason why I think this, Zach. I've always thought that kids have way underestimated potential. I think people underestimate kids like on a grand scale. Mm-hmm. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So, what, you going to say you had something else to say?
No, I was going to say I definitely agree.
I definitely agree. So, if you're a kid watching this, which you probably are, maybe not, but I'm 100% certain that you can do way more than your parents think you're capable of, for sure. Probably way more than your teachers think you're capable of, and probably way more than even you know right now. I'll give an example of young Zach here. We talked about this before. Zach started working for me when he was 10?
Like 10.
All right. He was doing like business paperwork for me when he was 10 years old. He had a motorized scooter. He used to ride his scooter from his house over to my house because I used to work from home half the day. And I would give him work that, honestly, 25-year-olds do. He was doing it when he was 10. So if you're 10, I'm telling you, you already can do some of the work that 25-year-olds do. I'm 100% certain of it. You're probably just not used to it. So that's one thing, all right? The other part of it is the sooner you start doing stuff, the younger you'll be when you get really good at it.
True.
All right. So let's just say it takes you 8 years to get really good at something. If your desire is to be a business person and you're 10, 12, 15, 16, 17, 18, if you start right now, you're still going to be young when you're awesome at business. Yes? How old are you when you started your washer and dryer business?
I believe I was either 14 or 15.
All right.
Somewhere in there.
When Zach was 14 or 15, where did you find the old machines?
On Craigslist.
All right. So people just giving them away?
Yeah. And then the trick was that when you sell them a machine, you do a free haul away, and then you just fix the machine that you take back.
All right. So Zach was 14 or 15. He was going on Craigslist. How'd you get the idea in the first place?
There's a guy named Ryan Finley,
Uh-huh.
and he was buying and selling on Craigslist, and he had started just doing washers and dryers because it was the best turnover for him.
How'd you find Ryan Finley?
I have no idea.
All right. But is he like a podcast guy or something?
He's got a blog.
He's got a blog.
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, noted. So you found him, and then you're like, what?
And I was like, hey, I could do this.
Yeah.
But the problem was I couldn't drive at the time.
Uh-huh.
So I found a friend who had a truck.
Yep, I know him,
said, "Let's
Gilberto
do this
Flores.
thing."
Yeah, and he was into it, and he's like a real clever guy too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was into that kind of stuff. Yeah,
It worked well.
if you go to his
For a
house, he
couple
has so much old stuff
Yeah.
that he's trying to fix up. Like
Yeah,
little
he's
by little.
totally a guy that's willing to try stuff. So
Yeah. All right,
Yeah.
so we got to afford. This is an example. If you are, how old do you think? Did you need to be 14 to do that business, or do you think you could have done it when you were 12? Or like, did you need to have a mind that was a little bit more mature to do that particular business?
I think to start it on, like, having it be my idea, I had to be 14. But I think if there was, like, somebody was helping me, I could have started younger.
Yeah, you probably had to be a little bit older, too, to convince Gilberto. Like, to convince another dude to partner up with you.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think I got a picture of me running a painting project that I talked my way into when I was like 11. Mm-hmm. When I was like 11, one of our neighbors was like remodeling this duplex like up the street from us, and I went over there and I'm like, "What are you guys doing here?" And they told me, he's like, "Yeah, after this we're gonna be painting it." I'm like, "Who's gonna paint it?" He's like, "I don't know. We'll probably hire some painter." I'm like, "Why don't you let me and my friends paint it?" And I talked my way into a painting project and got like 2 of my friends to come help me paint a house. All right, that's when I was 11. So that's not to say like we're major league hotshots, because we definitely aren't. Look at the ceiling up here. We got a ceiling with a misplaced ceiling board in our conference room. So we're not fancy people or some kind of special dudes. We just, I just think we were both naturally had like an entrepreneurial mindset.
Yeah.
All right. And if you're listening to this or if you're watching the video and you're young, then you probably also have the entrepreneurial mindset too. And so really the point of this video right here is to just convince you that you definitely can do something. That you definitely can do something. You do not have to wait. If you have some ideas, you can just go ahead and act on them. Let me ask you this. Did you get any pushback from your parents or anything like that when you wanted to try to do that business?
Not much. A little bit. Like my dad was always like worried that I was like this little dude just hauling around these giant pieces of metal.
So he was scared you might get hurt?
Yeah.
Yeah. But like the idea of trying something entrepreneurial, there wasn't any like, no, you can't do that. I don't think you can pull that off.
No, because I've been trying to, I've been mowing lawns. I tried selling donuts. I got up at 4 a.m. once.
So where'd you buy the donuts from?
I made them. That's the thing.
How were they?
They're okay.
All right. Did you sell some?
No.
Nobody wanted them?
No. Well, keep in mind, it's like pitch black outside on this residential street.
Yeah.
And I have no lights. It's just me in the dark.
You should have been able to sell some donuts, man.
Yeah, but there was one guy that had me fill up his coffee.
All right. Well, that's something. I'm trying to think of what. So when I was super young, probably like 8. I'm talking about like really young. I always did this. I always got a couple of buddies with me. So I got a couple of buddies with me, and I lined up some little gardening jobs as well. When I was like 8 years old, I'll tell you another thing. When it snowed here, this would be 1 year ago. Me and my 2 sons went out and sold chocolate door to door, and we cleaned up. And my boys can't really do the sales pitch yet, but they're pretty close. Like even at age 7. Mm-hmm. Like those kids are pretty close to being able to like sell chocolate on their own. Mm-hmm. And you got another advantage if you're a kid, which is, and you should take advantage of it, or even if you're pretty young, people love to buy stuff from young people. Like if I go selling door to door, people are like, get out of here, old man. Like no one wants to see you here. But if you're a kid and you're entrepreneurial and you're making an effort and you're doing something outside the box, you got a great marketing advantage.
Absolutely.
Because people have a soft spot for seeing young people go out and try to do something new. So so that's the purpose of this video. That's the purpose of this particular episode of this podcast. Just to recap, all right? 1, young people are capable of doing so much more than people give them credit for. And I'll just add as an add-on to that, adults are doing a bunch of work that young people can do. Mm-hmm. That'd be another thing. Like, don't think that your so the parents aren't going to like this. But honestly, I probably, during certain portions of the day, do stuff that a 12-year-old could do. Mm-hmm. I know it. I need to like stop doing that stuff. But so just know there's certain stuff your parents do that you could totally do. 1. Second thing, the earlier you start, the younger you'll be good. And if your dream is to be some kind of successful big shot entrepreneur, like if you start right now at age 12 or 15 or 16, by the time you're in your 20s, you're going to be super good at business. Like I would say I personally just really started getting good at business. I started trying to be good at business just 2 years ago. Like age 35, I've owned a business for like almost 10 years now. But I really conscientiously started trying to be good at business just a couple years ago. Man, you're only 2 years behind me. Like if you start at age 14 and you work hard on your business for like 6 years, you're going to be ahead of a lot of 35-year-olds, which is crazy to think about, but it's absolutely true. Mm-hmm. So I would say get started right now and don't be afraid to give it a shot, because you actually are way more capable than you think of doing cool stuff than you might think you are. And don't let anybody tell you differently. All right, give it a shot. Anything to add, Zach? All right, wrap it up. All right. Thanks for watching this video. We'll check you on the next one.